Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly overwhelmed. So, not a very easy task to speak after such luminaries like Haris Khalifka, Adnan Rahmat, Shabnam Riaz have spoken. I'm truly indebted to the Honorable Federal Minister for National Success, Farhad Zultaran, to the Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Maryam Zaid Saiba, to Haris Khalif, Adnan Rahmat, Shabnam Riaz for gracing the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, to me, the Mahogany Junction, a compilation of my poetical work, represents the final surrender to the inner voice, a submission to the turbulence of the soul, muted for long, yet always alive. I bow before the Almighty in humility for enabling me to feel what had to be felt and to say what needed to be said. I would like to express special gratitude on this occasion to my mother, who is in this audience today, for being the eternal spring of love in my life and the inspiration for my work on the eternity of love. My favorite poem in this collection is a tribute to my mother. The favorite poem that is a tribute to her, the first stanza of this poem reads, "If I could, I would in the next life raise you as a little girl. For what fitting tribute can be to your love's eternal spring?" Ladies and gentlemen, there was a mention of the range. I did experiment with the mystic also in this collection. My experience of the sound of the azan, the call to prayer, looking for a faithful in a devastated, lifeless, small village, and then returning unheard to bow before the Almighty in reverence. I have seen evenings drunk on the moonlight, the day caressed by the bidas touch of a half-asleep sun as it sinks slowly into the slumber of dusk. I am attempted to paint with words, ladies and gentlemen, to seek light from the dark, to weave the strands of time in a manner that the past, the present, and the future is summoned into the now. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe a poet's language may be local, but the poetry itself is of universal significance. It's an encounter between a poet and the larger society. It's an attempt to fuse the cerebral with the creative. Writing poetry, as has been mentioned by some of the speakers, is both an act of humility and courage. As I said in the poem that Adnan Sahib referred to across the dotted line, it says, "Off are the blindfolds, the robes of my being. Light has conquered the obscure." There is a yearning of the spirit to free itself from desire by consigning the silken robes to the fire, as I say in one of my poems. I would like to share two particular experiences as I grew up in sub-Saharan Africa that have had a profound impact on me and my creative process. While walking to school through a long stretch of bushes in the middle of the desert under the overhead sun, ladies and gentlemen, crossing a little stream en route, I would always come across most beautiful hummingbirds, and there was this occasional encounter with a bird of paradise flaunting her beautiful plumage. I would observe and recognize each one of them, and on my way back, I would try and look for each one of them as if they were someone and not some things. Ladies and gentlemen, the other major event that I want to refer to is the profound impact the ritual of masquerade has had on me. There's a ritual of masquerade in sub-Saharan Africa where people are disguised behind a mask and they gather on a holiday and hit each other with canes. The idea is to purge the village of all evil. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a ritual that has a profound impact on me, my work, my creative process, because in this, no one is spared because they sin differently. There is a power you acquire behind that mask. The weak and the marginalized, for a transient moment, share power with the mighty and the powerful because they are all behind a mask. Ladies and gentlemen, I have through my work attempted to challenge established notions, to convey that behind the tales of grandeur and glory of the Vikings, there could also be the tyranny of power, as is reflected in the poem The Rohtas Fort, which is the very first poem in the collection. My work is a humble contribution in the depleted scene of English poetry in Pakistan, and I hope it encourages young people to try their hands at this craft. I would like to end by reciting one of my favorite poems from this collection, which to me is the answer to many ills that affect societies, nations, and people. Nothing lasts forever. Led astray for long by the quest to be, I have stumbled upon life's holy grail. One after the other, I consign the silken robes to the fire. Unshackled from desire, I rejoice, I revel, I soar, I sing. I dust off the glitter, I fly, I flutter. I'm a feather, I'm the wing, I'm the child who never sinned. I wear the amulet from the shrine of nothing. I wear the amulet from the shrine of nothing. I drink from its holy spring. For nothing will remain, for only nothing is forever. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention.